Thank you.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to each one of you. We are delighted to have you join us for the Future IT Summit 2016. I am Sonal Lunawat and this is my privilege to introduce myself over here at this big platform. I will be your mic coordinator for the day on behalf of our Enterprise Channel's MEA team. We are extremely honored to have Mr. Anurag Bhushan, the Consul General of India, with us, and it would be a pleasure to have few words of kindness from him. So please, Mr. Anurag Bhushan, can you please come on the stage and give us a few insights? Thank you so much.
Thank you all. I hope you had a great breakfast because I have got 2 sheets of fine print in front of me. Well, I know that breakfast is, post-breakfast is not a good time to make a good speech. So I'll make a very short speech. First of all, a very, very good morning to you. And I welcome all of you to IT Summit 2016 on behalf of Enterprise Channels MEA. It's an absolute pleasure. For the last few years, technology has been leveraged in India for enhancing the effectiveness of governance. But a lot more work has gone in the last 2 years, especially since this government has come. Prime Minister Modi, I'm sure many of you will know, although he himself is not a technology man, is a person who understands technology like nobody else. And the way he has harnessed the spirit of young people, of professional in using IT and its application, for me who is an engineer, it's unbelievable. I remember that he put a group of people and he actually identified 170 applications that will unfold, that once they unfold, will change the very destiny of India. The first one to imagine that India needs so many smart cities, the first one to imagine that India needs a digital India, how network and mobile phones can be used not only for aggregation of customers, but also for empowerment and inclusion. Just to give you an example, in a very short time of 2 years, almost 200 million accounts were created, not by going to door and door, which of course was necessary, but by harnessing, by leveraging the power of technology. Space technology, internet, all of this we have been using. Even within MEA, we have been using for empowering our own diaspora. Last year, we started a service called, for example, Madad. So gone are the days when all of our diaspora people will have to locate the consulate, try to get inside, make a long queue, and hope that there will be a sensitive ear on the other side of the counter who would hear your complaint. Now, with a single touch of mouse and keyboard, a complaint is not only registered, but it can be supervised in a time-bound manner. So for example, if the person first level does not resolve it, it automatically gets escalated to the next level. And if the next level is mine, if I don't respond, it gets escalated to the secretary. And if the secretary doesn't respond, God forbid, it goes to the minister directly. And then only the minister can resolve it. So that's the level of commitment that has come into, and that this is what we have seen everywhere now. Now people don't even complain to me. You know why? Because they can complain to minister directly. So, people in Dubai, they will say, I'm standing in queue for 2 hours, Excellency, I'm not getting any time. And they don't send it to me, they send it to External Affairs Minister. So, and then I get a call from Delhi, there's some guy who is standing outside for 2 hours, why are you not getting him inside? So, it turns out that he is actually standing on the wrong side, wrong gate. So these are the things that are happening. These are very, very, I think for us bureaucrats, these are also times that, that stir our souls. that convinces us that old ways are past, and that we also have to forge new ways, new linkages. On our own volition, we started a thing called e-migrate. So we put entire, of course you know that, how many workers there are here, and you also know that how these channels are informal and how they seek to exploit the lack of information for their own benefit. So what we did, we started e-Madad. And it's a beautiful example how everything has been digitized in such a way that has brought transparency on both sides. So these are the ways we have to, I think it's very important that bureaucrats change as much as the industry in India has changed. And I'm very happy that Enterprise Channel has chosen a bureaucrat to inaugurate it, for the simple reason that it would probably make him more knowledgeable and more informative as the things unfold. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very warm welcome once again to this summit. And for people like me, it would be an eye-opener, the proceedings that go on for next 2 days. And I'm hoping to become more and more informative and knowledgeable. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, sir. It's indeed a pleasure to have you. Thank you for your words. Every accomplishment starts with a desire to try, and this trial led to the inception of Accent Infomedia. Let me give you a little brief about the GEC Open Golf Tournament. GEC Open Golf Tournament is our attempt to bring together top-level executives from IT and associated verticals. A day of undiluted fun, networking, and fun-filled games. Future and IT are synonyms. They both evolve each and every day. Keeping this aspect in mind, we started the Future IT Summit. Last year, the Future IT Summit 2015 was held at the Address Downtown Hotel on the 16th of March 2015. And this year, again, we have our Future IT Summit held here at the Armani Burj Khalifa. The day one of the Future IT Summit will be about cloud computing and analyzing the cloud market in Middle East and African countries. The second day will be about Internet of Things, which is the latest buzzword. Through our Future IT Summit, we just not aim to have serious talks or discussions. Our whole idea is to have honest chat, to bring about ideas, perceptions, and views from people from the industry, individuals who have been in the industry and who have given the industry an entire ICT landscape. ICT is a very complex term, but as we all know, it keeps evolving. Having experts today attending this event is a great success for us, and we hope you thoroughly enjoy the show put together by our team. I would like to thank all our sponsors, our platinum sponsor Dell, our gold sponsor Veeam, networking partner Intertech and HP Enterprise, government supporting partner Consulate General of India, Dubai Municipality, University of Hail, Saudi Arabia, Ministry of Community Development, strategic partner Finesse, supporting partner Microsoft and Fortinet, event partner Rital, Aruba, Emitac, Pure Storage, Oxygen, VCE, Oma Emirates, Spectrami, Unify, official airline partner Gulf Air, hospitality partner Hyatt Group. This show wouldn't be possible without their support. Can we please have a huge round of applause for our sponsors? For our dear audience, we have something in store for you all. There will be a surprise gift after the event, but you will need to tweet in a little about the event. So you can use the hashtags as mentioned there, hashtag FITS2016 and hashtag EC-MEA. The person with the maximum number of tweets is sure to be surprised by the end of the day. We shall also have 2 fish bowls rotating around the hall, so you can drop in your cards there, and there will be a lucky draw after the completion of session 1. Let us commence our session with Mr. Ashish Das. He is an IT industry veteran and has a dynamic international experience of over 2 decades. He knows the market of IT products and services, listed among the 50 most influential leaders by Forbes Middle East in the Arab world for the year 2015. Mr. Ashish Das is an expert when it comes to scrutinizing the ICT industry and presenting valuable case studies. His last experience was as a president of 3 Infotech EMEA and MD of Mrs. Banking for MEA and South Africa. He is on a sabbatical with his upcoming book, A Salesman's Journey Through the Savannah and Desert, A Practical View. And we cannot wait more to have this book in the market. The book is on the encounter of Mr. Ashish Das with the IT world. Without wasting much time, may I please have the expert on board, Mr. Ashish Das, too. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming. I mean, Tushar is a good friend, and one of the main reasons that we all assembled here today was I'm a bit candid in my approach, so please don't take me too cynical when it comes to technology. I'm a BTech in computer science, so I kind of remember my old days of engineering and then management and everything else. So I'll probably give a few examples on that. I think the uniqueness about this particular event, which I mentioned to Tushar, is the topic is ICT, it's cloud applications, it's IoT, and these are the buzzwords. I've been in the Middle East for 21 years now, and the first time I heard cloud was 2008-9, when it was an early concept and people were talking about it. And as in technology, everybody talks about something new. I personally feel, and these are my personal views, as Mr. Bhushan said a few minutes back, you have to keep it so simple that the adoption happens. There's always a great thought, there's always a great plan. Most of the companies do not kind of reach a level where, because execution kind of falls down the cracks in some way. And one of the key pillars of execution probably is adoption. So at least my keynote that I will talk about is probably what are the things that is important to consider while you are doing an adoption of any new technology, whether it's a mobile phone application technology or it's a core banking technology. Most of my experience has been with mission critical applications like core banking and enterprise resource planning. So adoption in our view has always been a bigger challenge. And in the Middle East also, I've seen the concept has kind of digested very well, but the adoption has taken time. And it's not just the Middle East, I mean, emerging markets in general, the adoption. So I'll probably cover that with a nice example. I'm in the middle of writing my book, my first book, so I just hope it gets published and somebody reads it. At least I'll read it myself. It mostly talks about the region and how the cultures are of the region. So, when you look at, when I came to the Middle East in 1995, and I remember my first trip to a manufacturing company. I was a 23-year-old boy, and I was with my boss, and we went to that company, and we had done all the hard work and everything else in showing them the product and everything else, and that was the final D-Day where we had to go and meet the chairman of the company and hopefully agree on some terms. So I remember the day very well. When we entered his office, he was a fine gentleman, and we had a 5-minute chat on pleasantries and everything else. And after that, he said, I like your product. It makes a lot of sense. And I think we'll go for it. So in my mind, to be honest, I was counting the commission that I will make because it was a $500,000 deal. And those days, $500,000 deal is as good as about a $20 million deal today. So I was like, that's it. And I'm going to buy my father a car. And I'm going to do this and that. And I was, young that we are at that time. And in all my excitement, I told him, okay, sir, thank you so much. So when can we sign the contract? So he looks at me and he smiles. He said, what contract? So I said, well, the contract to kind of move ahead. And this is a true story. So he bends down. He opens up the drawer of his HP printer. I still remember the printer. And he takes up a plain sheet of paper. And he handwritten, he writes down, saying, I like this company. These are the products that you're going to sell to me. We're going to sign for $500,000, $250,000 advance, $250,000 on finishing the project. I was just graduated from management college, and I looked at this and I said, there is obviously something wrong. So I looked at my boss. I said, what do we do? He said, shut up and take it. So I shut up and I took that paper, and we signed the paper, and we hugged each other and left the room. And I told my boss, I mean, what did I just see in my first deal? So he said, my dear boy, I still remember the words very clearly, this is called trust. He wanted to see whether you have what you have and what you're claiming, and you can see to him in his eyes and say that we will deliver this. There will be a contract. There will be everything that will be signed in a normal terms. It's not that he's stupid that he's giving you that money. Everything will happen. But the culture is like that. The culture is about trust, and I guess in any culture, but here more relevant. So that was my first lesson. And things has not much changed, to be honest. I think last year we signed one of the largest insurance deals in the region for $18 million. And we signed it on an MOU. And we executed the project on an MOU, and we got paid in time. So the point I'm trying to make is, how do you understand the culture and the region? And this is what I'm covering in my book as well. How well do you know the region? How well do you know the cultures? Because adoption of any new thing is very, very important if you know what you're dealing with. So when cloud as a strategy came up years back, the first thing that came into my mind is, it's going to be a tough call. I don't want to sound cynical, but I'm a technology geek myself. But the adoption will be a challenge. And I'm seeing it's still a challenge. It's going to pick up. New things are good, always good. And one of the things that in this event that the team is planning to do is having an open chat, an honest chat about, this is something that will help the world, help everybody else. How do we get this adopted? And what are the challenges about adopting it? Let's face the questions in all honesty. And that's what I liked about the event. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I will not bore you. You're all industry veterans, and I'm sure you all know a lot more on cloud than I do. But I remember when I was doing my BTech in '90, and the cloud concept came the first time when we were networking two servers on a diagram, a remote server in the US and a server somewhere else. The connection was drawn by a cloud, a physical cloud. So I used to ask the professors, why a cloud? Why not something else? So, and the concept was, that's what was told to us, that the reason that the cloud is drawn is because the basic concept of a cloud is amalgamation of particles and different things in the universe, which makes it a cloud and then showers the rain. That's the basic concept. And if you recall, in 1977, from ARPANET and SysNet is when the cloud concept started, which was basically intercommunication between servers. And those were the Unix days, and those were the mainframe days. So you had to ping one another. Internet was not there at that time. And then when internet came, and then I think one of the first applications was defined by NASA in 2008, which was a cloud-driven application in all seriousness. It was called Project Nebula, Open Nebula. That was the project that they had started. And that's when they actually put what we call today as infrastructure as a service. In 2008, it was actually first launched on the NASA project, where they said that the infrastructure needs to be utilized and capitalized as much as possible so that you don't put too much load on the system. So that's, and then of course Gartner came up and they said this is the right time to do what it is. So 2008 really it kicked off from that perspective. And I think, as I said, I'm not going to talk too much about the adoption. I'll take 5 more minutes. I think the basic reason it has not really kicked off the way it should have kicked off, and it will, all good things take time. I firmly believe all good things will take time, and when the time comes, you will appreciate what it is because it's more stronger. I think few important things, everybody knows it, it's regulatory. Every country is different, regulatory laws are different. There is a mindset of, whether the data will remain with me right under my desk, or do I have control over the data? How can I actually move with the data? These are genuine concerns, there's nothing wrong in them. I've been from the banking sector, and the insurance sector predominantly, which are mission critical applications, they're core banking applications. No bank wants their core application to be hosted somewhere else, and they don't have control on it. And that's a genuine requirement, apart from regulatory requirements. So I think these are a few genuine requirements where the governments are planning to do what they're planning to do. I mean, Mr. Bhushan talked about how well India is progressing in the IT world. I mean, a company like Amazon, which has got data centers globally, and it's Amazon, I don't need to talk what Amazon is. They are now setting up a data center in India. And they're kind of saying that if you put mission critical applications in our data centers, we are ready to put the data centers in the country, in the premise that you want to do. So whether you want to call it private cloud, hybrid cloud, these are names. You want to call it public cloud, I mean, these are nice names, but at the end of the day, if it solves the problem and the basic concept of cloud computing is addressed, which is nothing but making sure you use least infrastructure and highest computing. It's as simple as that. And if you keep technology simple, you'll understand it simply, you'll be able to adopt it simply, and it's as simple as that. So that's really the issue. Security is a big issue. I mean, how secure is the application? How secure is my data? And I keep telling people in private forums and general forums that I meet people is, sometimes people don't like me saying that. I said, I mean, security is a valid concern, but how important are you for you to be hacked? That's the main concern. So, there are many people and there are many articles written by Howard and Stanford which talks about, let's face the fact, Microsoft gets hacked 100 times a day. Oracle gets hacked 100 times a day. That's Microsoft, that's Oracle at the end of the day. So it's not demeaning an organization. It is all about, you need to differentiate between the wheat and the chaff and say that, I want to adopt this, I want to move forward, so I want to take the first step. If I don't take the first step and I keep saying that I'll be hacked and security becomes an issue, then nothing will move forward. So I guess things are reaching that stage where people are thinking and saying that, yes, let's take a step forward. It's taking time, but I think it's something that inevitably, I was reading a book, and if you're interested, you can take down the name of the book. It's called Truly Unbelievable. A gentleman by the name Sonny Satin in California, is a gentleman of Indian origin. He's written a book about how the world is changing from a human interaction to a digital interaction. And he talks about the change, he is no more. He talks about the change in 2012. And if you read the book, you will see from 2012 to now, you can physically see that change. I mean, the last time I went to a bank was, I think, 10 years back. I mean, for me, money is just a digital number. You just transfer money from here and there. I mean, all of you. So the point that, and the few things that he's talking about is everything will become digitalized. And if it becomes digitized, how the cultures are going to adopt that digitization, and how every transaction that will happen in the world will be forcibly used in a digitized format. So all the apprehensions that people will have, and if they continue to have that apprehension, they will probably be left behind in the race. So that's another way of looking at it. It's an interesting book, so I thought it's important to mention it. Last but not the least, what's the future? I think there is most definitely a future, as I mentioned about the book. The future is about, and the key success to this future is about adoption. And that's most important. As soon as we can adopt, as soon as we can strongly believe in it, it will be truly a success, and it will most definitely benefit everybody. Today, cloud applications are limited, and that's the truth. It's only limited to your Exchange servers, MS Office, which is the 365. It's limited to storage. It is limited to non-mission critical applications. The day it comes where you can actually deploy it on a mission critical application, that's the day the change will happen. So welcome once again. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting session.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ashish Das, for sharing your experience. We have with us Mr. Mohammad Syed, Cloud Services Leader, IBM, Middle East and Pakistan. And I would request him to please enlighten us with his thoughts.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you here about IBM and cloud. So yesterday and the day before, I was in the STEP conference here in Dubai. And STEP conference was about startups and the ideas they have and how we can sponsor and help startups. So we were defining IBM as the oldest startup in the market. Because if you look to IBM, since we started years back, more than 100 years, we started with machines, calculators, typing machines, mainframes, and now we are reinventing IBM. And our CEO, Jenny Rometty, she announced that IBM is transforming, and we are helping our customers to transform as well. So we have a say in IBM. Cloud is good, but RAIN is better. Cloud is good because it can help you to innovate. But RAIN is better because when you see the benefits of cloud, then you realize that this is something really good. So I'm going to share with you some insights from IBM and how can we help the market to grow and how we can help new ideas. Let me first start to share with you some insights. We conduct every year a CXO study. We call it the CIO study. So we interview CXOs from the organizations and we start to see how they see the market, how they see the future, how they see the transformation in the industry wherever they are. More than 50% of our CXO study we interviewed CIOs and CEOs to see what kind of vision they have. And when we talk about CXOs, today they are afraid. They are afraid because of a simple thing, that most of them say, today I know my competitor, tomorrow I don't. And the problem with that, in the past we know that IBM was competing against HP, IBM was competing against Cisco, against Microsoft. There are our competitors. But if you look to the telco companies, their competitors now are WhatsApp, Skype, and New, which is coming to the market. And every CEO and CXO is afraid from the next Oprah. They are afraid from the Oprah syndrome. It's about the new business model that's coming, and when you start to notice, it's very late. If you look to Dubai today, all the renting car companies 3 years back, they had the heaven. You can go, you start to rent, I will offer you Lamborghini, Maserati. If you are a small, humble guy like me, I will offer you Yaris. But that was the key thing. Today, with U-Drive in Dubai, it's changing. I'm going to just have the U-Drive, I will consume it as a service, and that's it. Whenever I'm going to travel, I'm going to use GoCar. And today, if you ask most of the people coming to Dubai, they'll start to search for Uber. They will not go for the normal RTA taxis. So now, the renting car companies, they started to realize there are competitors who are using the technologies, who are using the cloud, but for them, it's too late. So that worries the CXOs. For most of the CXOs here in Middle East and Africa, and worldwide as well, we will see that in Middle East and Africa, most of the CXOs, they think that working from anywhere, accessing your information, how you can work, that's the key thing. This is how they see the future. And of course, convergence of the industry. However, working from everywhere, and because here in the Middle East, we consider Middle East as a hub for the business, so everyone is looking to Middle East to work from anywhere. So today in Middle East, most of the CXOs, they are afraid. They're afraid from a startup company in India. They're afraid from a startup company in Brazil, because they know that sooner or later they will start to take their business sooner or later. So that's why every CXO is looking to the future and say, I need to be ahead of the curve. I have the power today, I have the money today, and now I can invest in the future. How can I do this, and how can you help me to do this? If you look to this chart, it will tell you one simple fact, that CXOs today, all of them saying that technology for us is the key. All of them. like we heard the Prime Minister of India is thinking that technology is the key. So everyone today, and this is good for all of us, think that technology is the key for the future and how can we transform our business using the technology. In order to use the cloud, like I said, cloud's good, rain is better, that you need to see what are the factors. How can we, how can we help you with cloud? Most of the CXOs, they say, we know that cloud, mobile applications, IoT, this is the future. This is where we need to invest for the future. This is what's going to help us. But the question is how, and how can you help us with this? So, as I said, cloud is an enabler. Cloud is helping you to start to deliver ideas. Cloud is helping you to transform your business model. That's the key of cloud. It's not about the application, it's not about the infrastructure, it's about the idea. The key thing is an idea. And let me share one experience I had yesterday. I interviewed one of the students in Zayed University. He was on the STEP conference. And he showed me an interesting application that's using cloud, Twitter feeds, using IoT sensors, and putting it all in one simple application and feeding some Facebook and social media apps in the cloud. This student, he was a mechanical engineer. He knows nothing about programming, but he had an excellent idea. So he started to use our platform, Bluemix, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and he started to make his own application. When he started to launch this application, five weeks back, 5 users downloaded this application. As of today, he got 2,000 users using his application. And he got nothing to do with programming like myself. He just used a lot of tools that's available on the cloud, and he started to make his own business model, and now he's having his application. So he was putting his application to everyone, hoping that someone will buy his application and make his idea go. So this is about the future. So if we look to it, that CXO, that they think that different business model and different thinking is the key. And I think one of the key players here are IBM. One of our customers, and of course it's public, Etihad Airlines, they signed with us $700 million deal for one thing, how we transform their business using cloud technologies. That's it. So that's the future that we need to think of. And by 2020, 90% of the top 100 enterprise software companies will have one way or another cognitive technologies. And I would like to say one thing, cognitive technology and how can you make things learn from you, that's not so far. Here in Dubai, we have our first customer to use the cognitive technology, and they are using artificial intelligence to start to deliver services to citizens. So that's not so far. That's not the far future. Today we are not thinking only about the application or infrastructure. We're thinking about cognitive and cognitive era. So if you like to search about the information, this is the IBM Center. You will find all the studies around CXOs and what they see. So I will just leave this slide here so you can visit IBM Center and get more information about it. What we think is hybrid cloud is the technology. Hybrid cloud is the key. Because here in the region, here in the Middle East, most of our customers say, I don't want my data to leave my country. However, I need to see the benefits of cloud. I need to utilize the benefits of cloud. I need to use the artificial intelligence that exists on the cloud. Can I do this? And the answer is yes. Today, you can use hybrid cloud because this is the future, where you can deploy things in your own organization, in your country, and you can build everything locally. However, all the benefits of the cloud, all the APIs, all the services, all the intelligence on the cloud, you can bring it, use it, and then release it back to the public cloud. So it's not about having everything in my own control. It's not having everything outside. It's having the right mix. And that's the key for every successful company. We as IBM, we made huge investment in cloud. So we invested more than $3 billion. And I'm just going to say that in India, We opened one of the large cloud data centers. We opened in South Africa. And here in UAE, we have joint development with the government to make Arabization for Watson, our artificial intelligence. And I would be proud to say that this is going to be the first language after English and French, before German, before Spanish, before Italian, before anyone else. So here we're looking to the future. How can we make the future? So hybrid cloud is the key for every organization. And think of what can I benefit from the cloud. There is no boundaries. There is no rules. You need to think, how can I make use of the public cloud? And let me warn you about one simple fact that you are all going to face sooner or later, that inside your organization, there's something called shadow IT. New young guys who are coming to your organization, and they will start to use cloud services without telling you. So they will start to use it, and they will start to make use of it. If you don't help them to use it in the right way, they will use it with their own. And you will find the business coming to you and say, this is what we are going to use, this is the future for us. So we have the key characteristics for cloud that we are helping you. How can we help you? First of all, we are telling you need to make choice with consistency. So you need to think about what do I have today, what do I have in the future, and make your choice with consistency. Because you will find 100,000 vendor coming to you and say, I have cloud, please start to use it. But that's not the right thing. You need to make choice, and choice should come with consistency. Second, hybrid cloud and hybrid cloud integration. Don't think of, I can build everything here in my data center because I have $1 billion to invest. And I will do everything here. I don't need anything from outside. That's not true. And don't think that I need to put everything outside in order to make use of it. Some data needs to be here in the country or in your country. So privacy is the key. The key balance is hybrid cloud. How can you use hybrid cloud? Having everything in your own data center and consume all the benefits from cloud. That's the future. And DevOps productivity. Don't think that, sorry, I don't have developers. Sorry, I don't have anyone to use application or to write application. That's not there anymore. With our DevOps platform, as I said, I had a student and he built a fantastic application using Bluemix, and he's studying mechanical engineering, and he made an application using IoT, using internet, using artificial intelligence from the cloud, what we call Watson, and he used it all as API, and he built his own application. The key thing here is the idea. What's the idea? What's your business model? What do you need to do in order to grow? And here we can offer you as well in the cloud, and this is what you need to think of, is analytics. Because data is the key. Once you have the data, once you have everything in your data center, then you will need to think about how can I make use of it? How can I transform my business model? What can I do with this kind of data? So I have the real wealth, the oil, the data, and how can I make use of this data? If you think of oil that comes from the ground, it's nothing. But when you start to transform it, then you can make use of it. That's your data. When you apply analytics, that's the key. And the last thing is cognitive solutions. And I'm saying cognitive solutions is not about the future, it's not the next buzzword with IoT, but it's something that's happening here in UAE, here in the region, and this is something you need to make use of. So that's the characteristics of your choice for cloud. Let me just highlight here that IBM for the second year was nominated as #1 hybrid cloud provider. And we believe that hybrid cloud and making the right mix for our customers is the key for the future. Let me finalize with this one slide. So here we are talking about creating new applications on the cloud. When you create new applications on the cloud and you build it, we don't want from you to write code, to be expert in C++ or whatever. No. You need to make sure that you can have your idea ready. That's the key. Here in UAE and in the region and Middle East and Africa, we have a workshop where we go and sit with our customers and we use sticky notes to build the idea. After we build the idea, We give them the tool, and then they create the app. Very simple, without having the knowledge of development or how we can create the application. So the key thing is the idea and how can you make it available for you and for others as well. Second is connect existing applications and data. So we are not telling you get rid of what you have. You have the data. That's the real asset that you have, and how can you make use of it? How can you integrate it with other sources in order to make it relevant for you, in order to make it relevant for your business people, in order to transform your business? That's the key. And the last thing is optimization. When you deploy it, you need to optimize it. We are not talking about US, we are not talking about Africa, we are not talking about Middle East. We're talking about an application that a simple man from India, a simple man from Egypt, someone sitting in Fiji Island can use. And that's the key for the future. So my message to you, cloud is not the key. Cloud is not good, but rain is better. Whenever you need to think of cloud, think about the benefits, think about the potentials, think of the future. How can I use cloud in order to enable and help my business model to grow, and how can I be ahead of competition? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed Sayed. For the next topic on maturity of cloud in the region, may I please invite Mr. Omar Akhtar, Regional Channel Manager, Middle East and SAARC, WEEM. The session is sponsored by WEEM.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Good? So, firstly, for those of you that may have not met me before, my name is Omar Akhtar. I'm the Regional Manager for Channels for Veeam Software for the Middle East and the SAARC region. Just very quickly, I'd like to ask a few questions. How many of you in the audience are actually using virtualization, whether it's VMware or Hyper-V? If you could please put your hands up. Okay, cool. So I'd say, 90% of the room, it shows us that you guys are actually virtualized. And the journey to the cloud actually starts with virtualization. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, the headaches of virtualization and, how can you make all of these virtual services that you're running within your business available 24/7. Another quick question. How many of you have heard of Veeam before? If you could please raise your hands. About 80% of you, so I think my job is done, so I should just leave now then. Cool. So, who is Veeam? Where is it that we've come from? Veeam's actually ranked as one of the fastest growing software companies globally. And we've been very disruptive in the availability space. And what it is that we've achieved is we've actually developed some innovative technologies which help our customers to make their data always on within their modern data centers. So back in 2006, when our company was actually first founded, our crazy developers, they actually developed a technology called vPower. And ultimately what vPower enabled us to do was leverage a customer's existing ESX environment and create isolated labs. So it actually enabled us to develop a technology which we called Virtual Machine Instant Restore. So if you look at back in 2006, there was a paradigm shift. People were moving away from physical server environments to virtualization, which was great. Mr. IT manager leveraging, virtualization, he could provision, a virtual service within 25 to 30 minutes, using a virtualization template. Now the headache that he had was, on one hand, he could virtualize a service within 25 to 30 minutes, but on the other hand, in the event that that virtual service was to fail, it was taking him hours and, in severe cases, days to restore this virtual service. Why? Because he was actually reliant on legacy, backup tools which had been designed in the physical world. And, Mr. IT manager was trying to take these products which had been designed for the physical world and he was trying to retrofit them for the virtual world, which basically is not fit for purpose. So, he could virtualize within 25 to 30 minutes on one hand, but on the other hand, when these virtual services were failing, it was taking him hours and days to restore these critical virtual services, which is not really in line with the promise of virtualization. And that's really, where Veeam came along, and we changed the game with our vPower technology. Veeam as a vendor, we've gone from strength to strength. It's actually our 10th anniversary this year, so we're very well established as an organisation. When I actually first joined Veeam, it was only 1,600 employees, and we've now got 2,200 employees, and we've got offices in all of the major locations across the globe as well. This is a very, very important number. So 183,000 customers worldwide. This is a large number, and for a company that's only been shipping licenses for the last 8 years, you must question what is it that these guys are doing, to manage to, adopt so many customers so quickly. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as well. 90% of the Fortune 500 use Veeam technology. These are obviously not your Mickey Mouse companies. These are like the Walmarts of the world, the UPSs, the PricewaterhouseCoopers of the world. Again, so it should give customers in the room that are not utilizing Veeam today, it should give you the confidence that Veeam is an enterprise class technology that you should be using within your business. And partners, we've got a very extensive partner network, and these guys are the vehicle to our success in delivering our solutions to customers like yourselves today. Veeam as an organisation, we're very innovative, and we're always developing our technology based on the feedback that we get from our customers. So we've actually just released our Veeam version 9, and we've got visibility of our technology roadmap up until version 13, which is good. And this is all really based on the feedback from you guys in the room, additional features that you need, challenges that you're seeing within your data center, and you want to add them into Veeam. So again, it should give you the confidence that Veeam really is changing the game when it comes to availability for virtualization. So we're now in the era of the always-on business. Everything's 24/7. You as customers, you need to make sure that your applications are up 24/7. You're doing business across multiple time zones. You've got customers feeding into your systems. You've got multiple employees in multiple branches. You're managing all of this data. And it is a real headache to actually manage this. How can, Mr. IT manager, Mr. CIO keep this running 24/7, 365, with no downtime? From what we see, there's no tolerance for downtime. There's no tolerance for loss of data. Loss of data equals loss of revenue. So a very, very big problem. So we've acknowledged that, and we've got some solutions which actually can help you to alleviate that problem. Customers, they want, recovery times within minutes. There's no tolerance for recovery times in hours. I don't care what company that you work for, if Exchange is down for half a day, the world's ending. You can't accept orders from your customers, you can't send BOQs, you can't do billing. So, just to put it in perspective, it's very, very important that these services are up 24/7 so that they don't actually interrupt the business. Existing solutions, as I mentioned, they're not fit for purpose for virtualization. You can look at these hot standby solutions, multi-million-dollar solutions, array-based replication. They try and achieve, 0% downtime. But, these expensive solutions, realistically, they're not fit for purpose. And, they're only really designed for 5% of your applications within your business. And they're obviously very, very costly as well. So, we've acknowledged here at Veeam that there's a clear problem. The problem that, businesses have is you're trying to deliver a service around your applications. You're obviously offering an SLA. As an example, Exchange. The SLA that an IT manager may be offering, if Exchange falls over, he's got an SLA to the business that he needs to restore it within, 3 hours. 3 hours without Exchange, we've all agreed that the world is ending. The headache that he's got an SLA of 3 hours, but he's reliant on a legacy backup solution, which can only restore within 6 hours. So, Veeam's acknowledged this, that there is a clear availability gap from what it is that the business expects to what it is that the IT manager can deliver. If he's delivering an SLA of 3 hours, and the tool that he's using can only do it in 6 hours, there's a gap of 3 hours. This is 3 hours of expensive downtime, which is affecting your business, which is a very, very clear problem. So, what Veeam have done is leveraging our technology, vPower, we've actually managed to bridge this gap. the way that we've bridged this gap, leveraging our vPower technology, is Veeam can actually take an incremental backup of a virtual machine, whether it's VMware or Hyper-V, whatever the application, and then we can actually do a restore of that virtual machine. But what it is that we actually do, which is unique, is we can actually boot and run a virtual machine from a disk-based backup appliance, and we can actually restore in under 5 minutes. So this is how we can help customers to actually achieve their recovery time objectives and their recovery point objectives. This isn't just for an individual virtual machine. This is for multiple virtual machines, whatever the size may be. And the beautiful thing about Veeam is, we can actually integrate with the leading storage players within the market as well. So, we can actually utilize your existing assets to help you achieve these clear recovery time objectives. So the cloud, in the Middle East region, the adoption of cloud, we're slowly getting there, which is great, I'm having a lot of, meaningful conversations with customers saying, Omar, we want to, leverage backup as a service, we want to take advantage of the cost benefits, the manageability, how can you help us achieve this? What can you do from a disaster recovery point of view? So, Veeam, we're very, very well placed to help customers like yourselves that actually do want to actually get into the cloud and take advantage of these benefits. So, we can help you from an on-premise point of view, and we can also actually help you get into the cloud as well. So for existing Veeam customers, we've actually got a very cool feature which is called Cloud Connect. So basically what it enables you to do is you can actually take a backup of a virtual machine, leveraging Cloud Connect. You can then log into a portal, and then you can actually select a service provider within your region, and you can actually work with them and send a copy of your backup to your service provider. So this service provider, they can obviously host your backup for however many years that it is that you need. So this is a really, really cool feature for existing Veeam customers as well. And for those customers that, you have got issues, with recovery time objectives for your private cloud, and, you do want to put backup as a service on your roadmap, I would sincerely say that, you really do need to be talking to Veeam, because we're very well positioned to help you, get the benefits of cloud. So it's easy as 1, 2, 3. With Veeam, we always promote that, you should always follow the 3, 2, 1 rule, which is very, very important. So you should have 3 copies of your data. 1 should be primary and 2 should be backup, just for insurance purposes. One important thing, which I think a lot of people, they don't really think about is, backup's your insurance policy at the end of the day. You're backing up these critical virtual machines, whether they're databases, CRM applications. But, there's no point in backing something up if you can restore from it, because backup is all about restore, So, with Veeam, with our cool technology vPower, and having the ability to create isolated labs leveraging your ESX environment, we can actually guarantee that whatever it is that you're backing up, you can restore from. The reason being is we have a patented technology called Sure Backup, and Sure Backup is the 100% guarantee that whatever it is that you back up, you can restore from. So what it is that we do is once you've taken a copy of your backup, of your virtual machine, whether it's VMware or Hyper-V, we will actually take that backup and boot it into an isolated lab, and we will actually run a granular verification checksum process. So basically what we do is we check the virtual machine's healthy, we check the guest operating system, and we actually make sure that the application and the data to that application is actually consistent as well. And then what we will do is if there are any issues, we will actually send you a detailed email report as to what that problem is with that backup, so that you've got a guarantee that whatever it is that you're backing up, you can restore from. So it's very, very important that you guys actually look into this. One thing that I would say is, the reason why we work with so many cloud service providers here within, the GCC region is that we can actually give them this guarantee. Because at the end of the day, you as customers, you're leveraging backup as a service, but you don't want to be sending a copy of your backup to someone, or, leveraging disaster recovery as a service to a service provider, if they can't restore from you. So, the service providers that actually Veeam, we work with in the region, they're leveraging Veeam technology within their backup as a service. It's part of their SLA to you. You don't want to be sending a copy of your backup to someone and then you then need to restore it if your service provider doesn't have the correct tools or technology to be able to help you to achieve this. So this is a really big question. So, if you are, looking at leveraging backup as a service and utilizing the benefits of it, ask the service provider, what is the SLA that you're going to offer me? Is it 4 hours? Is it 5 hours? How can you guarantee that when I'm sending you a copy of my backup that, we can actually restore from this backup? This is a very, very important question. Don't just provide your backups to someone, which is your insurance, that hasn't got the correct tools to actually help you restore in the event of a business failure, which is very, very important. As I mentioned before, we've also got disaster recovery as a service. So we actually just released our Veeam version 9 in January. So for those of you that are actually looking at the benefits of DR as a service, getting data offsite or into the cloud, Veeam's actually got a very amazing replication technology which can actually help you to achieve that as well. It's very, very cost effective, and we can actually help you to meet your recovery point objectives within your business continuity strategy as well. One thing that I would say is, Veeam's a very simple technology, and that's why we've been very successful, specifically here within the Middle East region. I would say don't invest from what it is that you're seeing from PowerPoint. Taste the ice cream. What I mean by that is, Veeam, we can actually come in, we can do an assessment, and we can actually do a very compelling proof of concept for you. So we can actually show you, how we can actually restore these virtual machines, in under 5 minutes for you. We can actually show you how you can actually take these virtual machines and leverage backup as a service. And we can do this end to end for you. So it starts off obviously with virtualization private cloud, and then we can help you on your journey to make sure that you actually leverage backup as a service, giving you this complete availability, for your modern data center. That was a little bit about Veeam, our organization, our unique technology differentiators, the benefits that you can take advantage of from an availability point of view. We actually have a booth outside. If any of you have any questions, you would like to have a one-to-one conversation, or, understand a little bit more about, backup as a service, DR as a service, or some of the customers that we've actually helped to address their data protection challenges, please do let us know, as we would be happy to help. I really hope that you enjoy the day. Thank you very much.
UAE is a land of opportunities, ICT landscapes, threats, solutions, and companies. As multinationals and big companies boom here in UAE, we have an analysis on the future IT landscape of UAE. May I please invite Mr. Hussam Jumma, Director of Enterprise Architecture and Business Process, Dubai Customs, to please come and enlighten us about the future IT landscape of UAE. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good afternoon. My name is Hussam, and I am responsible of Enterprise Architecture and Business Process and Reform and Modernization Program at Dubai Customs. So the agenda is, I'll talk first about Dubai Customs, vision, missions, smart transformation journey at Dubai Customs, methodologies and tools that we are using, results, recognitions and awards, future direction and outlook. At Dubai Customs, as can be seen, we have actually contradicting or opposing mission is to trade facilitation and enforce compliance. Trade facilitation means we have to do less inspection, while in the compliance enforcement we have to do more inspections. And as can be seen, our challenging vision is to be a leading customs administration in the world, supporting legitimate trades. Here, UAE position in the size of economy. Actually, to put things in perspective, here are some interesting statistics about the position in the world economy. There are some highlights. And by the way, Dubai specifically present about 76% of the UAE trade. We'll move to the smart transformation. Our transformation of Dubai Customs was inspired by the vision of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Sheikh Mohammed, he mentioned that in the transformation, smart government does not sleep, quick in processing its interactions, work 24 hours a day, 5 days a year, ease the life of people through the smartphones. So based on Sheikh Mohammed visions was Dubai Customs top management. They have actually put a goals is to be the first government department in the UAE to deliver His Highness vision towards smart government transformation. So we have put the objectives is to become the first smart government within 100 days, provide 100% of our customer-facing services through the smart devices, and achieve over 79% of the client satisfaction. In order to do this, there was actually, as I said, in Dubai Custom Vision, it was to become a leading customs administration in the world itself. It is really, it was a very challenging goal. So how to overcome this challenge? We can overcome this challenge by establishing, we have established a reform and modernization function or program at Dubai Customs. So another challenge was increasing trade volume challenge. Our study predicted that by 2010, customs declaration would grow by 400%, and passenger movement would grow by 300%. So we have to overcome this. Another challenge, how we can overcome it? So by using, if we use the current operating system, if we are using the current IT systems and practice area and methodologies in Dubai Customs, we will not be able to achieve this and overcome this challenge. So what we have done, we need a reform and modernization program and incorporating all international best practices and standards in order to optimize and achieve the top management and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed vision. In the next one, I just want to highlight before and after that transformation. And we have 4 dimensions here in terms of structure, process, people, and technology. In terms of structure, original state was centralized IT department focused only on software development, mostly software developers and testers. After the transformation, we have many practice areas, which we will see, inshallah, in the next slides. We have business process management, we have project management practice, we have enterprise architecture, we have IT planning, and we have many other areas that help us to achieve His Highness Sheikh Mohammed vision. In terms of process, there was a business requirement gathering by the developer, as usual, and no business process management, no change management, no enterprise architecture in the at Dubai Customs. Now we have actually formal business process management methodology, we have requirement methodology, we have a change management, we have enterprise architecture. All these practices are available under the Dubai Customs Excellence model, which we are going to see. People, as I said, we were focused only in the developers, testers. Now we have qualified specialists in each business area. For example, we have business process analyst, we have business process improvement analyst, we have solution, security, application, IT architects, and we have many more roles. In terms of technology, only software development tools, the regular and the traditional one. Now we have, in the area of business process management, we have formal methodology that is made up 8 phases, 8 steps, and we are using IBM system architect system to capture all the government information and the government data inside this single repository. So that is a comparison. So before the transformation, our services were only delivered by these channels, e-service delivered by website, Dubai Trade, business to government, B2G, and file upload. And we are going to see after the transformation. Based on this, actually, this is the model that represents how Dubai Customs currently is operating. Our operating model is consist of the three main layers. The main layer is, the first layer is the intelligence cycle. In the intelligence cycle, we have a risk engine system. We are receiving information about the passenger, about the good movements from many sources, and we have a life cycle of the intelligence. And based on this information, our Intel staff, they are creating profiles. So when the client when the customer or the client submit a declaration, if there is a hit or if there is a matching between the declaration submitted information and the profile which is already created by our Intel department, then it will be, this declaration will be transferred to the inspection or the compliance domain. So if there is a hit or if there is a risky declaration, then we are going to contact any customs core domain functions. As can be seen, we have many core domains. We have inspection, legal, audit, investigation, tariff, valuation. That is the core domain in case if there is a hit and a risky profile. If there is no any risk associated with this declaration, then the customer's declaration get approved and cleared automatically. More than 98% of customs declaration are cleared automatically, auto approval, based on the risk engine assessment and result. So that is the model represent how we are operating today. In the next slide, I would like to talk about the smart transformation strategy. We innovated a model to frame our transformation efforts. As can be seen, the model is based on we call it smart transformation model, or smart transformation strategy model at Dubai Customs. It is basically based on the four main perspectives: people, process, technology, and information. It is enabled by many enablers or practice areas. It is based on the, as can be seen, the practice area: enterprise architecture, IT infrastructure, PMO office, demand management team, business process. So that is and this model is focused on the customers and partners. So that is the smart transformation model. What tools? Now we will move to the tools and which we use at Dubai Customs to enable the excellence model we just saw. Here is the Dubai Customs Excellence Framework. Our transformation environment comprises many components. We have aligned Dubai Customs project management methodology and practices, as can be seen, with many practice areas. For example, it is aligned now with COBIT 5 framework. We have many practice areas currently in place, like PMO, BMBOK, CMI, ISO 2150, ISO 10244, and many other. We have also many standards and guidelines in place, which is aligned with Dubai Smart Government Department, and it's aligned with Dubai Customs Enterprise Capability Model. We have put also a strategy, a smart transformation strategy for Dubai Customs, which is aligned with Dubai 2021 plan. This all practice area is enabled and aligned with the project management methodology. We can see the phases of the projects, starting from the discovery, ending by the sustainability. So we have under the project life cycle, we have many methodologies and practice area which any project should pass and should comply with all current standards and methodologies, as can be seen: business build, project management, process engineering methodology. We have enterprise architecture. Without passing this governance methodologies, the project will never go live. So we have to, all projects and initiatives at Dubai Customs have to comply with the methodologies and the governance areas. Enterprise architecture, one of the enablers of smart transforming of Dubai Customs is enterprise architecture. Enterprise architecture actually is supporting the top management planning, making to them an easy way to do the impact analysis. Before the enterprise architecture, the information at Dubai Customs was scattered, not organized, not connected together, not documented up to date, but with having enterprise architecture practice, now we have a single source of a truth of all enterprise and organizational information. This portal of enterprise architecture, as can be seen, it is consists of the four main layers. First layer is the planning, and then the management layer, information, process layer, and the technology layer. So this actually enable us to do, as I said, fast decision making. It's enable us and help us top management to do the impact analysis, change management. What if I change a process? What will be impact at the all component of the at the government, at the Dubai Customs? For example, if I would like to change this services, I can run and use this repository and check what will be the strategic objective, what is the process, application, services, departments, roles, responsibility, even up to the technology level. I can get this information within seconds, actually. So that is the enterprise architecture at Dubai Customs. Actually, the result of all of this, we as Dubai Customs, Smart Safer Zones by 2nd October in 2013, and Alhamdulillah, as a first government department to achieve His Highness Smart Government Vision in 100 days. Also, we are the first custom administration in the world that introducing 100% of the client services 100% to our customers by using many channels, as we will see. So if we can see this, these are the snapshots of the client-facing services, so the customer can access all Dubai Customs services, smart services, and we have provided them with the mobile dashboard as well. We have enabled our service also on the smart watches. We have also using a smart inspection glass, it is Google Glass, so the inspector can actually see the containers. He can also view the declaration, view the information, view the risk information if it's available, and using the glass he can actually also submit the declaration or add inspection outcome report. That is sample of the technology which now alhamdulillah we can say that Dubai Customs e-services are enabled using smart technologies like smartwatches, mobile, smart glasses, etc. Based on this, actually, Dubai Customs client satisfaction, that is, I think, as of 2014, we have reached 88%. I think in 2015 it was 90 or 91. By adopting the mobile or the smart technology, client adoption, as can be seen, 35% more clients actually adopted the mobile services as initially. 20% of the clients using the mobile services are not in Dubai base. In terms of financial impacts, the revenue collected using the mobile services and the smart technologies increased by 432%. The accumulated cargo value using the smart devices is about 267 million. In terms of recognitions, actually, we have get our recognition from the WCO. WCO, it's the World Customs Organization. They have a Columbus report. That Columbus report, they have WCO visited all customs administration across the world, and they do assessment. In this assessment, they produce a report. They call it Columbus report. They have mentioned in this report, which is already published in their website, WCO.org website. They mentioned that Dubai Customs has an inspection range of the IT system, which can be rightly regarded as a world-class system. And this is the key word. They have actually, based on their assessment, for Dubai Customs comprehensive system, declaration management system, and risk engine, they said it's a world class in which other custom administration around the world could learn from these, from it. Also, in the World Economic Forum, we are the first customs administration in the GCC, and we are ranked number 3 globally in the efficiency of customs procedure and process. That is based on the World Economy Report 2015. We are at Dubai Customs based on the results and the transformation and using the smart technology and enable all our services online and smart devices. Actually, we are the first custom administration in the MENA region to certified on COBIT 5. We are the first government department in UAE to certified on the COBIT 3 as well in the custom using and CMI and the other ISO certification. Awards, we have received actually many awards after this transformation and having the and setting up the customs excellence model. That is samples of the awards. The future direction and the vision is by the top management is to have a trade app or trade sector mobile services. We are working now with the Dubai Trade and with the Dubai Smart Government Department to develop a single trade sector app in line with Dubai, as I said, with Dubai Government Strategic and Dubai Smart Strategy. I will end by, this is our website, so you can actually log in and use and see all Dubai Customs smart services online or through, and download the app through the Google app. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hussam Juma, for sharing with us what Dubai Customs is doing. May I please invite Mr. Loy Ahmed Al Nakhal, IT Project Manager, Dubai Municipality, to let us know about the future IT landscape of Dubai Municipality and also UAE.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, and so we'll talk about the providing smart services excellency. Actually, first of all, we made a new strategic planning for the Dubai municipality that start to lead the innovation, that leads the staff and people working in Dubai municipality to the way of innovation. Dubai municipality become the best 10 municipalities ranked worldwide according to different criteria and key performance applied. And there is 75 intellectual properties and patent has been registered from our own staff that they already made a good inputs and a good patents and information. Actually, also, there are more than 11,000 employees provide suggestions. We are plus 12,000 employees, provide the suggestions that we are encouraging our employees to do that and to provide more and more. And there is an innovation status that we measure through the surveys, an innovation status that it tells us that 65% of the staff working that they are satisfied with the innovation status level inside the working environment, which is a way to encourage and provide more and more successful stories. And actually, because of the suggestions provided, the income has been increased to about 3 million dirhams in saving money, in also investing new things, in investing in new ideas and different methods that has been applied during the past 3 years. The new strategy actually that has been announced recently is we are looking to reach by 2021 to be ranked one of the best reference model city in municipalities, to be the pioneers in sustainability, smart, and to provide a real good global city services. And that's also have a mission that we have to plan and develop and manage an excellent city that provides the essence of success and sustainable prosperity. And this is because of that we put some certain issues that we have to consider in our values, like accountability, competitiveness, collaboration, innovation, transparency, and happiness. All these concepts, all these things has been considered, and we're trying to transfer the knowledge of adopting such ideas to all the staffs, to all the leaders of Dubai municipality. And the happiness part, it's not only for the staff, it's also for the customers, for our partners, for our strategic partners, for different type of cooperative organizations. Looking to the incoming calls and complaints to Dubai municipality, you can see that the number of reported and closed calls are, first of all, are equivalent. So all the coming calls has been resolved. And the number during the last 3 years, it's decreasing, which means that's really we're trying to achieve a good image to our customers and to make people happy with that. In our KPI for the strategic plan by 2021 is to increase the happiness, the measurement of happiness to be increased to 95%, not only from the staff, it's also by the customers, to make the smart transformation of the projects to be 100%. Also to make the CO2 emission to be reduced to be by 17.5 metric tons per person. That means you have a healthy climate in living in the city. The Smart City Index, we're trying to be among the top 5 among the worldwide, globally. Also the quality of living in Dubai to be among top 5 globally by year 2021. The competitive ranking also, we're trying to reach number 1 by year also 2021. So this is what we are trying to force and to push and to study and to survey in order to reach this much of level of people making people very happy in doing a work, a business, and living in Dubai and UAE. So in our smart actually applications, it's not only a way to transfer the service, it's also another way to innovate, to tell the people that the service become different If you're not using the website, you can use the smart app provided by Dubai Municipality. For example, in application named iDubai, the geolocation tag, it's an option available in programming. So you can use this one to accurate the service request picturing. It's not in picturing an incident, for example, or if you want to report to the call center, you want to tell them that there is a waste on the street or something. A phone call will do it, but using the smart app, it will take the picture, it will give an accurate location as well. It will tell the recipient exactly to the cleaner staff where exactly to stop if you are in a Sheikh Zayed Road, for example, or if you are in a highway. So there is no specific landmark to describe where to come and collect the waste or whatever there on the road. So you can use such feature to report it and to save time. Where if the customer try, for example, to report an incident through the website, he's requested to report, to type, and then give a description about the location, which street, which area, which plot number, and so on. But this way, there is no need to think about the place or to describe how to reach the area. Another method is the augmented reality feature. This augmented reality feature adopted with Dubai Parks and Beaches. Now this one, it will give you a different way to explore the park and zoos available, and the tourism area belongs to Dubai Municipality. And instead of getting a tourism map, for example, when you are visiting a place or a park, that's showing where is the maybe swimming pools, where's the maybe stadium area, or where's different areas, where's the beach area, where's the grilling area. Instead of doing that, you could take the mobile and run the service, augmented reality, and start scanning the park. And then it will pop up, this is augmented reality, and indicators that it tell you, hey, this is the prayer room area, or this is the beach area, or that is the grilling area, for example. So you can, and then you can follow the instructions without carrying a maps or thinking about that. So this is another way to invest in the technologies that is provided with the mobile devices. Another good thing is the green building. There is a lot of instructions to be considered by consultant, by contractors as well, when they are trying to build a new building. Now, it's not only that, it's also for the owner to be honest, to be aware about the benefits of green building. Reading a book of instructions is quite difficult for people, for owners especially. But making the instructions in a video, in an attractive way, utilizing the feature, this is a good way to guide and lead people to understand the benefit and to go and understand the benefit of adopting the features. Another good thing is the Smart Palm. It's a way to recharge your mobile. It's a way to get a free Wi-Fi access. It's a way also to adopt CCTV or to monitor and observe the area. It's also a way to provide information about the park. So you have screens, and there's a touch screen that you can find some event calendar or any information that belongs to the place. So this is also another good way that make people more happy in using that. Another thing is the fleet tracking system, where it can track all the waste management vehicles. That is a way that to find the location of the vehicle, and then this will help also if there is any urgent need to remove a mass or a waste somewhere. So because I know where's the nearest vehicle, for example, because of the technology, so this is another way to tell and phone the person, the driver, to go to that area quickly. And so it's not only monitoring where's the drivers going and what they did. It's also, you can check, it can help actually the supervisor to monitor the vehicle driver behavior as well. To check the alert of the vehicle, like fuel level, the speed, and other alerts. And if there is any need, for example, for any urgent matter, it can also automatically it can stop in a safety way, stop the engine. It also can give an alert to the supervisors about the weight management, weight level. And then it can also provide reports and accurate reports about the status, or current status, or about the previous month's status of gathering information and waste and so on. Another thing is the smart inspector. The same as my colleagues from Dubai Customs about the inspectors, it's also use not only the smart glass, it's also, the inspectors now, they don't need to carry box or sheets in writing reports. The inspectors, they can carry everything. They can take a laptop or mobile and then put all the information and instantly report all the issues belongs to the different inspection area. So it's connected to the back end and it's on site. And it's also, the inspector can take evidence at the same time, taking pictures. If there is any violation on restaurants or in building control, in building under construction, for example. So things like that, it can be managed and reported instantly. Another good thing is also adopted is using the Google Street Viewer. Actually, Dubai became the first Arabic city that adopting Street Viewer, and later also now other Emirates in UAE, they start adopting the Street Viewer, that it gives a way people to explore the streets, to see, to visit, and to go maybe in some specific landmark inside the different areas of the city landmarks. So it's look like a person who's walking on a street and explore different places. Another thing is in utilizing the smart services for the future is to save the time on taking the topography surveying of the lands, is that the Dubai municipality, they use the UAV in order to scan and take a topology reading. It will provide a 3D map, and it is capable to fly the train. The UAV can capable to fly even if there is a raining weather, and it uses the infrared technology to provide the sensors will transfer the information, and also it can be the manual work of 90 days. It can be done within 3 days. So think about how much time we're saving by adopting such technology for future cities, for future growing cities, and the requirements of the development. That's it for Dubai municipality, and there is a short video about what is, I hope if it can be run, or about what is the innovation in Dubai municipality.
نعم إنها القراءة، نعم إنها المعرفة، نعم إنها الرؤية. في بلدية دبي نتطلع دائما وأبدا نحو المستقبل بروح الإبداع. إنها الحقيقة التي ترسخ لشباب واعد يؤمن بالتجدد المعرفي للوصول إلى أقصى درجات السعادة. إن بلدية دبي ومن خلال تبنيها لاستراتيجية الإبداع حققت في السنوات الأخيرة الكثير من قصص النجاح على مستوى الدولة، بل وعلى المستوى الإقليمي والدولي، فكانت من البلديات العشر الأوائل على مستوى العالم. وبتوجيهات سامية من المبدع الأول صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم لمواصلة طريق الإبداع والابتكار في البلدية، قامت القيادة بتوفير الدعم المادي والفني لدراسة الأفكار الإبداعية وتطبيق نظام إدارة المقترحات. نظام سكادا. يهدف المشروع إلى زيادة السرعة في الاستجابة للحالات الطارئة ومياه الأمطار بواسطة التحكم عن بعد بآلية مراقبة عمل محطات ضخ مياه الصرف الصحي في الإمارة. المختبر الأخضر، ويهدف إلى أن يصبح مختبراً مرجعياً على المستوى الدولي في فحص مواد ومنتجات المباني الخضراء التي تؤدي إلى تقليل استهلاك الطاقة والحفاظ على البيئة.
Okay, so actually you should selected the long video. Anyway, thank you very much. So this is Dubai Municipality. I'm trying to make everybody happy, and thank you for coming to this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Loy Ahmed Al Nakhal. That was indeed delightful to see what Dubai Municipality is doing for us. It deserves a huge round of applause again. We will commence our session 2, which is sponsored by Microsoft. The first topic will be Infrastructure Readiness, Storage and Computing by Mr. Kevin Ashby, Senior Product Marketing Manager, Cloud and Enterprise, Microsoft. We shall have a lucky draw after Mr. Kevin's session. Thank you so much.
Hello and good afternoon. I am a walker, so if I wander away from the microphone, somebody wave at me and I'll wander back towards the microphone. I was interested in the picture, where that came from. That was definitely me. Anyway, I'm going to talk about a number of things. I want to talk about why data, and then I'll talk about what we do from a storage perspective and an infrastructure point of view. So I'll try and blend a number of things together to give it all context. So, looking at data, everybody knows about the vast amount of data that's beginning to exist. What I'll end up saying is that by 2020 we'll have so much data that the sheer capability of storing it is going to be a very questionable thing. But looking at how data is actually exploding at present. So if we think about where we were a few years ago, and actually that's not a few years ago, that's 15 years ago, and how information was stored. Some of it was stored digitally, some of it was stored in analog forms. And analog forms could have been simply a book. It could have been something that you needed to look at and then reference the data and move it about. What seems to have happened over the last few years is that we are getting to the points now where the information is coming from a number of different sources. It's coming from how you're storing it, whether you're storing it on DVD, whether you're storing it on your laptop, whether you're storing it on your devices. All those people that have the smartphones, and if I hold mine up as an example, the amount of information that I can hold on this now, especially if I stick in a couple of memory cards, is so vast it causes all sorts of interesting questions about where data actually is. When we talk about how we do reporting, and we talk about mobile reporting and how you can access lots of information from your smartphone, you may choose to store an awful lot of information on your smartphone, or you might collect that information on your smartphone. How you then move that information into a place that everybody else can use it, whether that's from a corporate point of view or a general citizen point of view, will really define how that data gets used. And if you can define how your data is going to get used, you can define or start to explore how you might get benefit out of the data itself. So as we move forwards to where we are now, there's a split between how much information is stored in those traditional sources and how much of it is, as I just said, on the devices, and how much of that information can we push into the cloud. And when you look at the evolutions of things like IoT, and we do a lot of things locally around Internet of Things, that the sheer number of devices that you can have, whether you've got traffic sensors, whether you've got smart building sensors to be able to look at things like temperature and moisture content and the quality of the air, the amount of information that those actually take and stream is a huge number. We do a number of different demonstrations where we look at social analytics because it's easy to understand. But if you're just looking at it from an Internet of Things point of view and looking at the physical data itself, you can have devices that are streaming very, very discrete digital events, but they're streaming those events on 10 times a second, 20 times a second, 1,000 times a second, 100,000 times a second. And how do you cope with that volume? How do you take that information, put it somewhere useful where you're not just storing it, that you're actually doing something with it? And I'll try and touch on those things as we go forwards as well. And as we go forwards and forwards into the future, the size that is possible is 40 zettabytes. We tried to estimate what 40 zettabytes actually look like, and it's about, well, if you look at all of the grains of sand on all of the beaches in the world and then multiply by 57, you get to the same sort of volume that we're talking about. So that's just vast. And this will be information that's available to us all, well, maybe not all of us, but it will be available to lots of people to be able to use in lots of different ways. How do you store that information? How do you create an infrastructure that enables you to store that information? And then how do you actually get something out of it once you've stored it? It's not just can I put it in a cupboard and close the door, it's how can I make sure that I'm looking inside that cupboard and rearranging things in a different way to be able to get the information that I want. So we'll look at that in different ways. What we see, and this is certainly a Microsoft thing around how we do business intelligence, how we do databases, how we look at concepts like big data and machine learning and so on, is we're looking at things in terms of, if you run a report, you're looking at saying, a report is, I've got a question, give me an answer on things that have happened. What we're trying to do with a lot of the information that we have and a lot of the systems that we have is to take it from that point of view and say, I want to move from just being, as it says there, reactive, all the way through to being transformative in how I actually deal with information. And if I layer that in a different way, you start with the data. The data can be stored in many places. It can be stored inside your premises, it can be stored on the smart devices, it can be stored in the cloud. How can I get access to that data and do things with it? But to start with, you'll have a static report. Lots of people have static reports. We've all been doing static reports for the last 30 years or more. I am actually reasonably old, so I know it's at least 30 years. It was probably longer. But you have then a manual process before you then take any decisions. When we start looking at more interactive dashboards and the KPIs, it's a way of being able to say, my KPI, if it's red, it probably means there's a problem. If it's green, it probably means it's okay. So I can get to make a decision a little bit quicker. But I'm still looking at things that have happened. I'm not trying to predict the future at all. I'm still just trying to react to where things are at this point in time. So if I can become reasonably real time, I can probably react reasonably quickly. But you've still got a certain manual process before you can make decisions. What we then do is we look at predictions. So predictions can be techniques like data mining. Data mining as a technique has been around for a number of years now, and there's lots of statistical algorithms associated with that. And it's starting to be the realm of somebody we call the data scientist. The idea of a data scientist is your business intelligence administrator, designer, but it's somebody who has that deep statistical background. Ideally, this should be somebody inside an organization that has a PhD in big data, for instance, or the techniques associated with it. And if you can do that type of predictions on what's happening in the near future, or indeed in the long-term future, then you can reduce the amount of manual intervention you have to do before you can take a decision and do something. Where we are now, with a lot of the things that we are now starting to talk about in 2016 with the Microsoft products, we are looking at how can you take an automated decision based on those predictions. So cut out the manual process completely and start making automated decisions. That is a little bit like if then else from a programming point of view, but that's what we're doing. We're now looking at that in terms of I can make some very simple things happen. So if this simple thing happens, I do this simple interaction and then I do this, so if then else. But can I build in very deep big data techniques, data mining techniques? Can I associate machine learning with this? And what you see is we associate all of those. We associate machine learning with this to be able to say, if this happens, learn from the data. Remember, we're talking about vast amounts of data, so you've got to be able to process it quickly as well, but learn from that data and take an automated decision. The more automated decisions you can take, the freer that makes people inside organizations to really think about, so if I can do all of this, what else can I do? Where can I get my business benefit? How can I make quicker to market? How can I make things easier for people if I move a whole lot of stuff off to automated processing? So to put that in different contexts, that looks like, well, there's a number of splits between are we doing this with data warehousing, are we doing this with big data, are we doing Hadoop technology, are we looking at what can be done on premise and what can be done in the cloud. All of the presentations today and tomorrow are talking about how you can move information to the cloud. We also believe in moving a lot of information to the cloud, but we believe in the on-premise solution as well. So how can you link the idea of where data is Sometimes this is around sovereignty of data as well, and how can you make sure that you keep the security that you want for some parts of your data sets and then put the rest of the data on the cloud. A lot of what we see happening with the cloud locally, and I'll touch on it in a slide later, is the simple, easy things to do on the cloud, like development and test and so on. But looking at a lot of applications that already have their data in the cloud, being able to then really access those in the cloud as well. So how do we make sure the data itself is secure, and how do we funnel that through to the end user reporting tool? Because I might want the output of this to all appear as a little app on my phone that just shows me a few of the main KPIs, and then being able to bounce through that into the underlying data is something potentially people want to be able to do. From the Microsoft point of view, we may have noticed over the last couple of years, we've made a lot of efforts, especially with our Azure platform, the cloud platform, to make sure we are collaborative with a whole load of other vendors. So we're collaborative with a number of the people that are outside this particular room at present. But as you can see there, we are collaborated with Hortonworks for how you can link into the big data infrastructures. And we also do Cloudera as well. You will have seen a number of announcements from Microsoft recently about how we work with Oracle, how we work with SAP, how we work with all the major Linux distributions and so on. So there's lots of ways for us to be able to link everything together. One of the things we are talking about now is we've just announced the launch of SQL 16. One of the things that stands out about SQL 16 is how we've really pulled everything together. So when you take the database product, you also get a whole load of other tools, but you're getting a lot of things that enable you to really be able to manipulate information as well. So if we're talking about big data, one of the discussions that always comes up around big data is machine learning, and one of the things associated with machine learning is the ability to be able to run R code. Because that's another way of being able to look at the underlying information, be able to put in different statistical techniques. And we've embedded that into the database product now as well. So you don't just have to do if, then, else and write SQL statements. You have a whole load of other ways of manipulating the information embedded into the database product itself. So talking about it from an infrastructure point of view, the way in which we like to look at this is the standard challenges now with IT organisations is how do you make sure that you are taking cost out of it? How do you make sure that you're reducing the complexity? And how do you give a level of agility? That level of agility might be down to things like how do I provide an infrastructure to somebody very, very quickly? And I said I'll talk a little bit about where we're seeing the cloud used a lot locally. So the cloud, from our point of view, from the Azure point of view, has been in the region for 3 or 4 years. And we've seen a lot of people taking the cloud for development and test workloads. Because in the end, you can redact the information, redact the data, and you can do lots of development and test on that because the data itself hasn't become sensitive because you've redacted it. We see that with a lot of VMs as well. We see a lot of Linux VMs being used, virtual machines being used within the cloud at present. There are ways of making it quicker. We can talk about ExpressRoute, which is dedicated connections into the cloud. So what Microsoft is trying to be everything to everyone. So we're saying the cloud you can connect to directly from your phone if you really wanted to and get that working, and you can just be using the standard internet. If you've got a better way of being able to make your internet connection faster, then obviously you can use that. We also have ways of being able to create dedicated connections into the cloud as well. So we do that in various parts of the world, and it's through the ExpressRoute. So we're looking at how you can get direct connected lines into the cloud. So I'll speed up a little bit. Some of the storage limitations are, as it says, storage limitations come down to the server sprawl, the cost of buying the storage, and what you actually do with it. The way in which we feel the cloud can solve that is to look at it in terms of, so you never need to really buy the hardware again. That's an interesting discussion. Depends on what you think the cloud is, but at its very basic, the cloud is an x86 architecture built with many machines, lots of CPU and memory, and lots of disk. We have ways of making that disk very fast as well, and we also have ways of being able to create general storage. One of the discussions that's been talked about earlier on today is the concept of disaster recovery. Fundamentally, at its heart, the storage inside Azure is blob storage. which means you can just do anything you like with it because it's binary large object. In order to be able to accelerate that, what we do is we have concepts of being able to run Azure backups. We have something called Azure Site Recovery, which enables you to be able to say, I've got my virtual machine, I want to be able to back it up to the cloud and transfer it to another data center somewhere, another one of your sites somewhere if you wanted to, and pass it through the cloud. We do this with Hyper-V, of course, is the virtual machine manager, but we'll also do it with VMware as well. So we have a method of being able to achieve disaster recovery and backups. What we also have is, I said it was blob storage. So blob storage requires you to mount a file system on it, but it's still fundamentally in the cloud. So a way of accelerating things is to take the Store Simple device. What the Store Simple device itself does is it is a unit that you put into your data center. It's got the disk inside it, and it manages how it backs that disk off, that data off to the cloud. So you're writing to physical disks, so the speed is very quick, and then it manages how it backs it off to the cloud. Part of that management as well gives you disaster recovery capabilities. So you could say, I'm backing things up to the cloud from my infrastructure point of view, using the Store Simple device. Your data center goes down for one reason or another. You go and get another Store Simple device somewhere else that you could connect to the internet, and then you'll be able to pull your data back to that other Store Simple device if you wanted to. So you can have multiple ways of achieving that disaster recovery. What we'll also look at is premium storage. So well, I keep saying it was blob storage. The problem with blob storage is it can be slow at times. You know, there is a speed associated with it, but how do we make it faster? One of the ways of making it faster is to say the virtual machine that you're using, connect it to dedicated disk and make that disk as fast as possible. So using SSDs, what we can make sure that we're doing is giving you the fastest disk access possible. So although the cloud is really conceptually virtual machines, virtual CPU, virtual memory, virtual disk, you can be very selective about which machines that's physically on. So it is much, much quicker. And you would do things like that using those things for running databases, for instance, running high transaction throughput workloads. You'd use that type of setup. And it's easy to configure. Another way of using this might be to say, take your file shares, put those directly into the cloud. They're really easy to do, and obviously they achieve significant cost savings if you're doing that. Very, very easy, very quickly possible to do. What we're also seeing as well is there's several ways of looking at the storage. There's the blob storage, and then there's the table structures. I talk about SQL Server being in the cloud as well. There are a number of ways in which you can organize data that fit into the cloud, because in the end what the cloud is trying to be is it's trying to be a whole range of machines. I won't say CPU and memory again, but it's trying to be, how do I take an application and span it across, I don't know, 2 machines, 4 machines, 10 machines, 1,000 machines. It's my phone going off, across 1,000 machines. How do I achieve that? Well, you can do that in a number of different ways, and we have federated designs that you can use across the cloud. One of the things that you can definitely achieve with that is the application scalability as well. So depending on where the data is and how your applications are done, you can make significant benefits from that by using those types of structures in the cloud. Talked a little bit about big data. Of course, big data sits into how we do storage inside the cloud. There's a number of ways of looking at that, so I'll jump on to the next slide to be able to do that. This is not meant to be an eye test, but it shows the complexity of what's going on. So when we start looking at how you're taking data and streaming it, and storing it in different types of methods, whether you're storing that on-premise or storing that in the cloud, how do we ingest the data? There's a number of routes for being able to do that. We have various cloud gateways. We have event hubs that do the if then else, but do it very, very quickly. So how can I do it for 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 events per second? Then you would use something like an event hub to be able to do it. All of this sits inside the ingestion layer associated with big data scenarios. Then we have the processing layer. There are various things in that. There's the stream analytics. Stream analytics is a way of being able to take a little piece of information, take the vital part out of it that you want, do the thing quickly that you want from that vital piece of information, and then do some business intelligence on it as well. So if you've seen us do any demonstrations about Twitter analysis, for instance, we're using Stream Analytics. So those tweets happen, they get published into the API, we read them very, very quickly, and they can be shown on real-time dashboards, for instance, and that's how we tend to do that. Depending on what you want to do from a big data point of view, so talking about Hadoop, Hadoop needs you to be able to pour data somewhere, often called a data lake. We have a data lake service that allows you to write T-SQL-like statements over the top of it, so not necessarily needing to understand how you access big data and how you write code to access that. We've created a much simpler method for being able to pull the information back. And then you have various output layers, how you analyze it and visualize it. Sometimes it's feeding it into machine learning, sometimes it's feeding it into Power BI, our BI tool, or it's feeding it into Cortana Analytics. The reason for Cortana is, depends whether you used it on your phone or not, but Cortana is our predictive interaction. So could you have a BI system where you physically talk to it and say, show me the results of? Yes, you could. And we demonstrate that from time to time as well. So you can physically talk to the machine and it will show you stuff. What sits underneath all of this is the different layers. We showed the ingestion layer, we showed how you do the processing and how you do the storage. All of those components you could decide to buy individually and connect together, or you could just take something called Cortana Analytics Suite, which is the right to use anything inside that stack. So depending on how you want to do it and how you want to build it, you have all of those things available to you. So I notice I'm out of time from my timer that I had running on my phone, so I won't delay any longer. There are lots of people, of course, in the world using the Azure platform for all sorts of things. More than happy to talk to people individually or answer questions now, or just stop talking. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kevin Ashby. Let us come and discover the land of Saudi Arabia, the land full of opportunities. Let me please invite Dr. Majid Al-Haisoni, Dean of IT, University of Hail, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
First of all, I'd like to thank the organizer for inviting me to deliver this talk for today. So, my name is Dr. Majid Al-Haisoni. I'm the Dean of IT and E-Learning at University of Hail. So University of Hail, Journey to the Private Cloud Computing as a Case Study. I think a couple of presentations before my presentation was talking about the cloud and what is the beauty of the cloud and why do we need all to go to cloud. So as we can see, cloud computing model is based on a consolidated infrastructure. It's an elastic pool of resources, and it could be a public and a private cloud. So you could build and customize your own cloud the way you like, or you could join any one of the public cloud providers. But due to the privacy and certain constraints and concerns at universities, most universities, they provide to build their own private cloud computing. So before I embark on our success story, I would give a brief about University of Hail. University of Hail is located in Saudi at the north. It has more than 40,000 students, around 33,000 faculty and employees. And regarding the campuses, it's a bit of a mistake here. It's more than 18 campuses now. So how are we dealing with these campuses? A number of majors in more than 14 colleges is there. So how can we deal with this massive number of campuses, locations, colleges, building? It's scattered. And one of the branches is far away of the main campus, around 300 kilometers. So how are we going to serve all these scattered, heterogeneous locations at the university? At the beginning, the university had an old data center. And that data center was a variety of vendors, products, and companies. So if you have various vendors, products, servers in one data center, then it's not easy to handle and maintain this data center due to the heterogeneity available in this data center. So it was very challenging. It was aging infrastructure. It needs efficiency and support over work. So most of the time of our IT staff is spent on only maintaining and making sure that all these servers, storage, switches are up running the whole day. And they don't have time to think on or come up with creative ideas. So the multiple vendor issues is there, the complexity on the design and the implementations. And you could just imagine that you do have different vendors. In this case, you're going to have different multiple maintenance contracts. So how are you dealing with this? How are you going to open the tickets? So you will find yourself scattered among these contracts, and you will be acquiring more and more IT staff. So all these challenges at the university, at the beginning, it was a big hurdles for us as responsible and leading the IT at the university. So we invest around 27%, but unfortunately, we do maintain 73% only for maintenance and to make sure that this aging infrastructure is working properly. So emerging business requirements. In recent years, most of the countries, if it's not all, they are going behind the e-government and e-services, e-transformation. So University of Hail was one of these universities, and in particular, in 2012, the university has planned to move and transform all the transactions to be e-services, and this is common sense. If you want to be a unique university, then you have to look to the technology and how can you transform your university. So the requirement is there. So as a university, by default, you should have the minimum requirement or the minimum required systems, like the student information systems to deal with the student records, transactions, and etc. And also you need to have an ERP, which is the Enterprise Resource Planning for the HR, payroll, purchasing, accounting, budgeting. All these related financial issues and matters should be handled electronically without having any papers. So on top of these modules, you would think of having self-services for the faculty and the employees. So all these are a demand of the end users at the university, as well as the higher management of the university to transform the university. So one more thing is the enterprise content management system. The university was thinking to stop the papers and the letters which is circulated among the university campus. So just imagine that you have a branch of the university around 300 kilometers. So how are you going to send the letter there, and how are you going to receive it back? So it's a very long journey, and this is going to affect, by the end of the day, the quality of the work at the university. That will incur a high delay and latency among the departments. So we were supposed to have a system that is instantly send and receive the letters, and at the same time assign tasks for people. So you will feel that all is one campus to transform all these transactions. So also the business process modeling. Students, faculty, employees, they do have different services they want to acquire from the university. So it doesn't make sense that people will be writing letters and submit it to the appropriate person in charge to get a certain service. So they are on the era of mobile. Not only by using a laptop or desktop, you would serve yourself, but people are now thinking to use their smartphones to do all these services and acquire different things from the university without the need of writing a letter or even attending to the appropriate person. So aging and accidental infrastructure. The old data center at the university was a component of 60 plus servers, and these servers are heterogeneous. We were acquiring from different vendors. And at the same time, the age of these servers is more than 6 years. So also we had an issue of the hardware reliability, the disaster recovery, and also the backup was done on a tape. And it's for a very limited time. If we face any issue, it was very tough for us to go back and recover these data. So management and operational complexity, the university IT staff, as I mentioned earlier, is very tough for them to handle and maintain different products, different vendors, different storage, and also an issue of the backup. So they were very much busy on just making sure that things are running and up running without having the time even to think to be creative. TCO, maintain this diverse technology became difficult, and this cost the university a lot because you will find yourself having maintenance contract with different vendors just to make sure that these systems are up running. These are just some of the solutions available, not all. I'm very sure there are a lot of solutions there, and this is not a marketing for these solutions. It's just, a snapshot of some of these solutions were available at that time. So Google, this is very well known. Amazon, Microsoft, and I think the presenter just before me was talking about the Microsoft. So Oracle and also Dell, NetApp, EMC, and converged infrastructure from VCA. So what did the university selected after reviewing and surveying all these solutions? The university hire committee has decided to go with the vBlock, which is the VCA. And this is not actually a marketing presentation rather than a success story that we have done. We are saying here that we have gone to cloud. Okay, we have selected VCE or vBlock. Some other people, they say, no, we don't want to go with vBlock, we can go with something else. That's up to them. We are just showing how cloud has saved the university time, money, and also the reliability and the efficiency of the university. So after evaluating these solutions, the university hire committee has decided to go with the vBlock. And as we can see, we do have horizontal application solutions, vertical applications development solutions, and infrastructure. All these have become in one console. From one management console interface, we are managing, handling, maintaining, creating servers, switches. It's a matter of clicks. And on the next upcoming slides, I will show the visibility of having a cloud at the university. So the beauty of this solution in particular, that within 35 days, the solution is pre-tested, pre-configured, pre-engineered. So you didn't need to bring the solution and then gather it together, bits and pieces, and then start doing the testing and the environment. No, the solution has already taken your requirements and your demand, and it has been pre-built, pre-tested, pre-configured, pre-engineered. It was around 35 up to 40 days. It has been delivered at the university campus, and then the data migration has taken only 4 weeks to migrate from the old data center to the new data center. So it's best-breeze project, market-leading performance elements in every category. A complete system integration, it's fully integrated these systems with each other. Seamless support. Although the vBlock is a component of having EMC, Cisco, Intel, but by the end, you are only contacting one single point of contact for the support, and you don't need to go beyond the line to see who is going to help. Partner enablement, and then optimize solutions for the converged infrastructure. So this is the value proposition, speed time to deployment, improved utilization of IT resources, and this is very important because at the university we do have lack of HR, lack of resources, so you want to have a solution that with few people you can easily maintain your infrastructure. improved availability. It was, 5 nines availability, improved monitoring, and improved data set. So the small footprint that I want to show and share with you for the comparison between the new solution and the old data center that we had, most of the footprint is 50% reduction. So in terms of the network, in terms of the server, it was around 65 servers, and with the new data center we only have 24 physical servers. Regarding the equipment racks, it's from 13 racks up to 6 racks, and also for the network. So we can see that we are saving around 63% of the servers, 40% by the hardware, and the facilities space requirement is by 53, almost 50%. So the rapid deployment with the old data center and with the cloud in particular, you can easily save a lot of number of days that you can do for the dramatic decrease in total cost of ownership with rapid deployment, 4 days and up running. As soon as we receive the delivery up to the university, it has taken us only 4 to 5 days from the setup, configuration, knowledge transfer, up to the data center is running. So you don't need to worry. But on the old, calendar time deployment for the old data center, at least 120 days to just, make sure that the hardware is delivered, and then you will start gathering and getting the setup of these servers. So this is just to show with the cloud, with the vBlock, and the traditional, how many days just take to set up your data center. So improved business support agility. So the performance of tier 1 applications such as Oracle, we have seen and realized how smooth and rapid our applications have become after we joined the cloud. We do have at the university Oracle Business Suite for the ERP. We do have the Laserfish for the enterprise content management system. So we will come to these systems that we are now running in a fully virtualized environment without having any issue. So as we can see, IT can allocate on-demand IT infrastructure resources wherever they are needed. So, different applications and different systems can be easily virtualized without having any issue. Also, the solution is redundant and replicated at each level. So whenever we have any issue of failure of any certain component, there is always a redundant solution. So predictable performance for mission critical application. For messaging, we do have Microsoft Exchange. For the Oracle, for the ERP and Banner, we do have the Oracle Business Suite. And for the SIS, which is the Student Information System, we do have the Banner. And also we are recently running the virtual desktop in conjunction with Microsoft Azure. Also the collaboration, we are using Microsoft SharePoint and Cisco for communication. And we do have a lot of applications which is developed in ASP.NET. And these are all really very simplified life cycle and easily for us to manage, maintain, although we are dealing with the huge systems at the university and the massive number of users. So this is just a comparison of the downtime measures. We have done this study for 1 year to measure the downtime. So with the old data center before the cloud and after the cloud. So the server incidents the vBlock platform, it was 12. And with the vBlock platform, it's only 1. Hours needed to fix the problem, it's 5.2 the cloud, and with the cloud, it's only 1.8. The server downtimes hours is 70.6. And with the new infrastructure, it's 0.8, and the downtime hours per user is 10 for the cloud and 0.1 with the cloud, and all the downtime and the incident measures are for an entire year. So the improvement of the IT efficiency and TCO. So we are growing from 4 to 74 terabytes. In the old data center, we had only 4 terabytes. And now we are moved up to 4 terabytes without the need to increase any IT staff. On the old data center, the same IT manpower have been moved to the new data center, or even we have missed some of the people as well, and we are still not affected. The new server provisioning is only 20x time faster than was only legacy on the infrastructure. To create and provision a new server, it takes only from 15 to 20 minutes. But on the old data center, whenever you think to have a new server, then you have to think of having the physical brought, and then you will see the compatibility issue. So a lot of hassles just to have one physical server added to the current data center. So different things have been regained 60 to 70% of the time spent on managing the systems. Now the IT staff has got an opportunity to think, has got an opportunity to come up with the new ideas and how to enhance and come up with different new projects. So this is the TCO, the IT infrastructure cost comparison with the cloud and pre the cloud. So as you can see, and the amount of thousands of Saudi riyals, almost 50% we have been able to save with the new infrastructure, which is a huge amount of money on the storage, on the server hardware, on the network hardware, and on the facilities, including even the power. So all these are real case study taken from the old and the new data center. So the results, the future roadmap, implementation of virtual desktop infrastructure, and this, in particular point, just been done 2 weeks ago in conjunction with Microsoft. We do have a collaboration with Microsoft. In particular, we are acquiring the Microsoft Azure, and we have done the different, platforms with the Microsoft, first of all, for the virtual desktop, and also we have done the self-reset password for the university members. And now we are going further and further with Microsoft to have a DR site with Microsoft for our current data center. So deployment of application interface for small factor devices, mobile and tablets. And now we are working heavily to move to native APIs for the mobile platform or for the smartphones. Integration of services between UH, private cloud, and Microsoft, as I mentioned, and also recently we have acquired the Office 365. So I hope that I have been able to show you a case study of the University of High with the old data center and how did we migrate to the new data center, and what are the benefits and the advantage that we have acquired and obtained. And now I'll be very pleased to receive your questions, and thank you very much for your great attention and listening. They were very happy about the presentation, seems to be, so they don't have any questions. Is it? Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much, Dr. Majid Al-Jaisoni.